scroll through them and see what is going on. Generally, people take a look at messages and what was going on in general with the system itself. You just scroll up and down and take a look at these lines. They don't mean much to you now, but uh, they will. They will in time. Just show a bit of patience. You can't know everything from if in like 5 minutes you cannot learn everything. That's for sure. Just a little bit of patience and you will eventually become proficient. Okay, so yeah, this is another thing that I'm going to show you fairly soon, but for the time being, let's just stick to what we have. System tools again. So you have startup applications. Here you can configure cron jobs, if I'm not mistaken. Well, you can configure cron jobs via the terminal, but here you can also use a graphical user interface to just say, okay, I want this application to run at startup, and I want this one, and I want this one, or I don't want that one, I don't want this one. So here you can actually create your own scripts and link them here. Just name it whatever you want, then you browse it in the file system, you find it, just double click on it, the command will be here, and then you can even comment it if you want. That script will run at startup. This is a very common thing for system administrators to have plenty of scripts that will run at startups. They usually carry a USB stick with them with like 10,000 scripts on it. Every particular script has its own thing. Usually those are troubleshooting tools that people make for themselves. I don't know, to filter certain traffic out, or to boot certain services, to kill certain services, to start certain services, sorry, not boot, and to display certain files, or to display certain logs, and to see the status of certain things. Anyway, that's pretty much it as far as this part is concerned. Perhaps one more thing is Red Hat Access and Boxes is actually for accessing other machines, so we won't need that at the time being, but it can be nice. You can use Red Hat Access to connect to their network directly from your operating system and have a look if you can see if you can find anything useful there. But we shall deal more with these things a bit later on. Here I'm just giving you a bit of intro. Down at the utilities, there are some fairly nice things. So Archive Manager can unpack pretty much anything. You know how in Windows you have to actually you have to download an unzip software. 7-zip is free, but you have RAR, or you have WinRAR or something of a kind that you have to pay for. Here in Linux, you can pretty much unpack anything for free, no problems. Got a lot of things here. Well, dictionary is not particularly useful to us at the moment. You get a disk usage analyzer, not bad. Font document. Okay, so remote desktop viewer is very nice. It comes free. You can utilize it, no problems, to access computers remotely and provide technical support. That can be very nice. You don't need to install anything extra there. Up here you got disks, so let's just open up our disks, and there we go. We got pretty much everything listed here. So it's 137 gigabytes hard disk. This is probably the Windows one, if I'm not mistaken. No, sorry, this is XFS Linux bootable. Down below we got some other Red Hat 2.7 gigabyte block partition. I don't exactly know what this is, but okay, so 80 block device. This should be home. Yep, there we go. So Red Hat home. Let's just see what this is. Oh, this is swap. There we go. So we can read it here. It's swap, and up here it's root. So you can figure out how you can review your partitioning scheme here without bigger problems by just clicking. It's fairly simple to read through it without any bigger difficulties. You can also create a disk image, restore a disk image, you can benchmark it. It provides a wide variety of options for you to play around with. I'll just go back to utilities to see if I've actually missed anything. Nope, that would be it. Okay, so there is one more thing that I want to show. Sorry, utilities. Sorry, action overview. Excellent. So if you go to action overview, you're going to be prompted with this, and on the right side you have your virtual desktop, so you can have multiple things on multiple desktops. That can be very nice, primarily because it's a space saver. So you can just switch between them. We'll probably do that later on as we progress. Here at the top center, you have a search box, so you can type in the approximate name of any application. So there we go. So terminal. Okay, so let's try something else. Baresso. No, I have a feeling I misspelled it. Baresso. There we go. Bracero, sorry, Bracero, that's how it's read. I misread it because I don't use Bracero, I use the KDE one, but doesn't really matter. I want to show you something new and something a bit different. Anyway, you can do this in the terminal as I have said, but this is how you would search for things in your GUI interface, so you could actually find them. You don't need to know the file system by heart. You can just use the search functionality here and figure out where is what and how to find things. This is your sidebar on the left side. You see you have Firefox here and some other things. This can be changed by a simple drag and drop. Fairly simple. You can even show the applications like this, frequent or all, and now you can just scroll down. So this has been implemented for a while now. I mean, if you have a touch screen or something like that, I bet this could work really well. But anyway, down here at the bottom is our number one program, the holy grail of power, the terminal. So let's just go ahead and open it. With this, I shall conclude today's lecture. In the next lecture, we will start using the terminal. I hope that you have familiarized yourself with this desktop layout, at least to an extent, to see where is what and what can you do where, because I remember when I was starting to learn, when I was figuring out how Linux works and coming from Windows, the graphical user interface was completely unclear to me. So I went around, I learned, I scowled, and so on and so forth, even though I should have probably learned the terminal first. But over the time, you learn how to use the terminal, you learn how to use the command line. It is important to know how to do things in GUI primarily because that is your reserve option. So if you don't know how to do it via terminal in the very beginning, while you're still learning, just go ahead and use the GUI. Don't waste more than an hour on something. If you can't figure it out, oh well, do it in a GUI and then come back in the terminal, especially the firewall settings and stuff like that. That is quite delicate, and you need precise commands to know exactly what's going on, to know exactly what sort of traffic are you allowing to pass and what sort of traffic are you not allowing to pass. In any case, as I said in the follow-up tutorial, we're going to jump straight into the terminal, so be ready. Until then, I bid you all farewell. Welcome everybody to this tutorial. Today I will begin using the command line interface, but before I do, let me just share a few things with you from my own personal experiences with the command line. First of all, it can seem a little bit complicated, especially to Windows users, and in the beginning it might seem like you will never be able to learn it or something of a kind, but believe me, that is not the case. Thousands of people, millions of people have learned it before you who had the exact same mindset. I don't want you to worry about that. If it seems complicated or if you make mistakes or something doesn't work immediately, don't worry about it. It happens to everybody. Most important of all, do not get frustrated by it. If you do, get up, go make a cup of coffee, drink a cup of water, go for a walk, whatever, make a 5-minute break, whatever calms you down. Do it, because if you are frustrated, you won't be able to do it. You won't be able to do much. I guarantee it to you. Anyway, if you just stick with it, by the end of this course, you will master the Linux command line and you will successfully be able to use Red Hat without any problems. You will have full knowledge of the terminal in Red Hat, and you will command it to the fullest of extents. You will be able to do whatever you want with it without any bigger difficulties. But as I said, if there are problems along the way, and there will be problems along the way, if you encounter bumps, don't stop, just stick with it, and eventually you will figure it out of that, I assure you. It is not as complicated as it seems. It's very simple, straightforward, no problems. Anyway, that being said, let's just go ahead and click on application, move on down to utilities,